On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry. In this breaking news, we are joined today by the Hamburglar. Hamburglar.
Bitch! Wait. You're the second person who said that today.
Who clocked it, Cisco?
Cisco's not home.
Oh, yeah. Who?
No. Okay, my neighbor was cleaning out her closet, and I was over at her house this weekend. And she was giving me stuff. I was like, oh, I'll take that. And then I texted her and another neighbor a picture of me in it. And they're like, yes, Hamburglar.
I love it. It looks cute, actually. I really like it. And I like that I like the blue on it. That's cool.
I think it's free people.
Okay, boho queen, Madison
You know
Reyes.
me. You know me, mama.
Looking good, looking snatched.
Oh my
I
God.
saw that, actually. I saw a picture of you the other day.
Where? On a milk carton?
It was in the wanted section for
being too beautiful.
A red-haired, striped-wearing burglar thief in the area.
Yes. Okay. Well, there I am.
Wait, speaking of food, Madison Reyes, I already knew this, but it was Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday?
Yes.
Girl, the Mexican food here.
You've said that before, and it's true, huh? Nothing beats California.
Tragic. We went to a restaurant. I won't name it because I don't believe in publicly condemning businesses that
I do, but
are just trying to get by.
Yeah. If they're like rude or assholes, I fully.
It's like a mom and pop place, and
leave them out.
It's Latin owned. You know, I am not going to say the name. We went on Cinco de Mayo with some of our friends. Truly the worst Mexican food I've had in my life.
Really?
Like worse. Okay, you know when Taco Bell is bad? It was worse than that. It was
Taco Bell also can't be. Taco Bell's not in the same realm.
No.
But I know
I'm
what you
saying,
mean. Yes,
like,
yeah.
That's how bad it was. Like a cold flour tortilla.
No corn.
Not good.
Okay.
The chips and salsa were bad, so you know it's downhill from there.
You should have gotten up and left.
I know at that point, but it was Cinco de Mayo. We were already like beating a crowd, you know. It's crazy. Queso, terrible. I've had some good queso here, but it's better in Texas. It's just, people will be like, oh no, you got to try blah, blah, blah. You go. Worst thing I've ever had.
Oh,
Worst thing I
no.
ever had.
Just
Get me
when
back to
I
California.
thought I got him to fall in love with Tennessee. Should have known better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too far.
Okay.
Yeah, not in love with the Mexican food here.
I had bomb Mexican food this weekend. My family and I took my parents out to the restaurant we've been going to forever is the Red Onion in Palos Verdes. And they have the best Mexican food ever.
Okay,
so.
She's standing by that.
Yes.
I think there's better.
Well,
but I think it's good. I grew up as a Las Casuelas.
Love Las Casuelas also. I don't think anything beats Red Onion.
Okay. And that's the hill we're dying on.
That is.
That's our friendship feud. Also, speaking of food, we went to the pickle festival, which was really fun.
Yes. Do you want to talk?
All kinds of pickles.
All kinds of pickles. Do you want to talk
about the big fallout that happened?
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a better served for like a Patreon. Maybe we'll put that behind a paywall because I've got some personal gossip that I need to.
Blew me fucking away. Pickled me.
Me too. Let's say friendships were ended at the pickle festival.
They were pickled.
But the pickles themselves, Loved it. Got fried pickle spears, got pickle french fries, a pickle Diet Coke, pickle onion rings.
I was at
Delish.
World Market this weekend and I saw pickle sour straws.
Yes. Sounds fabulous to me.
Fab.
I buy the little bagged pickles we get on planes a lot?
Yes.
Or like we get them at airports and eat them on planes?
Yes.
Because we're those people.
Uh-huh.
They have at the Kroger, they have like boxes of them you can buy.
Ooh.
Of the pouches of the pickles. And so I've been trying to limit my chip intake.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like pickles are a good reach when you just want something
A pickle chip.
salty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think they're called like Oh Snap or something.
They are.
Yeah.
And they have different variations. I like the hot ones, the spicy ones, and then I like the regular ones. They also have a sweet one, but I'm not friendly to a sweet pickle. Don't love them.
Yeah, you need to go to jail if you like sweet pickles. Never like hot and sweet or whatever. No. I want a kosher
Hot.
dill.
Or hot, spicy, good.
Love. I had kind of an obituary thing happen this weekend that I didn't tell you about.
Oh.
My
Do tell.
I'm gonna, and I actually am asking for some help from any geoffs that maybe live in Canada, specifically Manitoba. My uncle was visiting from Texas. He's my dad's brother. We went out to dinner, like I said, and then we went back to my parents' house and we're going through old photos, and it was just really nice. We were reminiscing, hearing stories we'd never heard before. And I fucking tried my woman pilot joke again, and it didn't go over well again.
Stop telling it.
I know. I just can't help myself. We're sitting at the kitchen table. My dad was a commercial pilot. My uncle has his pilot's license. He never flew commercially though. So they're talking about flying in old airlines, and we're talking about Spirit Airlines being no more. And then my dad starts talking about the first time he heard a woman pilot come through the radio.
Uh-huh.
And it was really sweet. I was like, wow, And I turned to everyone and I said, a woman pilot. And everyone was just, again, everyone was just like, okay.
Girl, they hate it.
They hate me. And then, so my dad's mom's ashes are at his house.
Uh-huh.
And so, again, I fucking put my foot in my mouth again. We're all sitting around, just sweet moment, looking through photos and everything. And I said to my dad and my uncle, I said, you want me to go get your mom? And they looked at me like, what? What the fuck? So
they don't love it.
Did not love it. But my uncle was saying, hey, my mom, my grandma, always wanted her ashes to be either spread or interred at this little church in Canada. I guess she grew up in Canada. Never knew that.
Oh my God. Are you Canadian?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I don't know how are you different now a little bit?
I did buy maple cookies this weekend, and I've been eating them.
Remember someone from... You did. You told me that. Remember someone from Canada sent us those ketchup chips that were so good.
Oh, my God. So good. We need a P.O. box.
We went through those.
Again. I know.
Girl. I'm on it, actually. I am. Well, that won't help you, but...
Okay. Yeah, I know. But so we're talking about it, and I'm like, what? And my dad didn't even know, and he's had her ashes, and I'm like, wait, we have to do this. Where's this church? And it's in Manitoba. The little chapel is called St. James Anglican Church, Soulsgirth, Manitoba, and it is
girth.
Ooh, mama, girthy.
No wonder. I want to go there too, girl.
Me too. So we were looking it up, and then I was like, hey, to my uncle, I'm like, your mom's ashes are in this box. Do you want to see? And we open up the box. There's a pamphlet in there of this church and 100th anniversary VHS thing. And I'm like,
so
oh my
God.
God.
She wants to go there.
I'm like, that's the church. Yeah. But I don't know if they still do burials there. It is a teeny tiny, I think it was the first log church that was built in Canada or something, like super old.
Well, we could send the ashes.
Well, if I could get a hold of whoever runs it, maybe have her interred there, or maybe go, spread if
them.
That's the case. But I would love to take my dad and my uncle and like we go and do.
Well, I'm coming on that.
Oh my God. Yeah. And Manitoba sits like above North Dakota. I mean, it goes like inland, but where Solskirth is, I don't think it's that far from North Dakota. So
do we have any geoffs there who can A, let us know if it's there, and then B, if there's enough geoffs in the vicinity, maybe we could go do a little show.
A little show. Hey, everybody come and we'll have a little memorial.
Oh my God, love it.
We'll make it about us.
We'll dress as funeral strippers. With your dad and great uncle.
Great uncle. It's his brother.
Yeah, that's your great uncle.
No, that's my uncle.
It's your great uncle.
No,
it's your uncle. Your parents are older, so sometimes I get like...
I know.
Girl, they're old as hell. So sometimes I get like...
That's your great uncle, Madison.
No, but the reason I think of it is because your dad and my grandpa were similar, and they were a similar age. I think. Yeah. So because you're like the baby.
I'm the baby of 5. My parents had me at 45. I was an accident and a mistake.
No, you were a blessing.
No, I wasn't.
You were a blessing surprise.
No, I wasn't. My aunt, remember, was calling me the she-devil at Thanksgiving. And she's going on a cruise on Monday.
You better hope there's not a mouse on that ship, honey, because she'll be haunted by the haunter.
Oh my God, so scary.
Girl, I'm calling it out. There's another pandemic.
I don't believe so. I don't think that's going to happen. I will say there are so many people that get on TikTok. You know I love TikTok. You know I love to watch all the videos. But there are some people that are just so fucking stupid, just like reporting on this like they're doctors.
Fearmongers. Yeah.
Fearmongers. But there was this one girl that was like, they said that the incubation period could be up to 8 weeks. But then a report just came out that it could actually be 45 days.
It's 42 days is the incubation period.
No, but I was like, hold on. I was like, that math is all fucked up. I was like, what is 8 times 7? 8 times 7 is 56. So you're saying, oh, it was 8 weeks, but oh my God, this is even worse, 45 days. And it's like, girl, you don't even know math.
No, but that's why I like TikTok for silliness. I can't handle the like, did you know? It's like,
I know.
You don't even know. We don't fucking know what's going on. I don't even know where I am right now.
Oh my God, I know.
Couldn't tell you on a map. Diva. Okay, wait. Speaking of funerals.
Okay.
I have some Am I the Assholes for us. And the first one says, am I the asshole for refusing to serve guests at my mom's wake?
Okay.
It says, I'm a teenager and I recently lost my mom to cancer. During the wake, I mostly just wanted to sit quietly and grieve. Whenever visitors came, my grandmother would tell me to serve them food and drinks. I understand that this is a way to show respect and appreciation to people who took the time to attend. However, I really didn't feel emotionally capable of doing that at the given moment. It happened a lot, but this one specific time. One time when guests arrived, my grandmother again told me to serve them, and I told her I didn't want to, and I didn't do it. Just laid my head back on the table and brushed her off. She seemed upset, and I felt guilty afterward because she's older, and I just brushed her off and made her do it, which I still feel bad about. At the same time, I feel like it was unfair to expect me to take on that role when I was grieving and not in the right state of mind to be serving others. Am I the asshole?
I mean, no, but so it wasn't like buffet style?
No, I guess they were like serving people food and drinks. I did read like she added an edit that said they're in the Philippines or something. And like traditionally, I guess that's the case. But I'm like, this is a teenager who lost their mom, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't fucking make them do like the formal thing or whatever. Just let them grieve in peace.
Let them grieve. But yeah, I mean, also, every situation is so different. Like, if it were a wake or something for my mom, I would be on it.
But you're also not a teenager.
I'm not a teenager, though. Like, it's just different. So yeah, cut her some slack.
Cut the kids some slack. Okay, the second one wants to know, am I the asshole for ending things and ghosting after finding out? I don't even want to spoil it with the header.
Oh.
I, 32 male, am married with 2 kids, and my wife and I have an open relationship. With her full knowledge and agreement, I started seeing another woman who also said she had 2 kids around the same age as mine. She told me her husband had passed away, and she even showed me a picture of him. Over time, things got pretty serious, and we blended parts of our lives in a way that honestly felt very natural. The only thing that ever seemed off was that we never went to her house, only mine or out in public. Looking back, obvious red flag. A few days ago, I randomly saw her out shopping, and she was with the same man she told me was dead.
Ooh, baby.
I didn't approach her, didn't cause a scene, nothing. I just left and haven't spoken to her since. I've basically cut her off completely. My wife thinks I should tell the husband what's going on, but I really don't want to get dragged into her life or whatever mess she's created. I feel like I've already been lied to enough and I just want to move on. Am I overreacting for ending things and ghosting her instead of confronting her or telling her husband?
No, just end it, ghost it.
Stay away.
Stay away. That sounds crazy. Also, you know, we are not judgmental about that type of relationship. You do you. It is not for either of us. And if Cisco ever came home saying, this girl I'm seeing, and was telling me all the drama, there would be steam coming out of my ears.
I mean, yeah, I'd like props to anyone doing it. You know, every relationship is so different. But yeah, I think in that scenario, I would not start shit and be like confrontational. I don't know that I would tell the husband or not. I'd probably be mad I got lied to, and maybe that would make me want to. But I know at my core, I'm the type of person when I am done with someone, I think you do need to have confrontation sometimes. But I think in other instances, you don't even owe anyone an explanation. You can just be like, you know what you did, and I'm no longer talking to you.
Right. I think like you have confrontation with people when you want to try to fix it or resolve something.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it's necessary if this person's saying their husband's dead.
That's a crazy lie. That's not like, oh, my husband and I are separated, but really they're still together. That's like oh my God, you poor thing. Like, how did you talk to your children about grief? Like, how have they been adjusting? Because those conversations had to come up where it's like, do your children ever ask about him? Like, I don't know what I would do if I lost one of my wives.
One of my wives. Well, yeah, especially in this situation where it seems like this person is so open, so like lives such an open, like no pun intended, an open relationship, open everything. Like that kind of lie is huge. But again, I would like to know if anybody is in an open relationship, like, do you go home to your other partner and cry to them when something happens with the other partner?
I think so. You know what? Actually, I think everyone probably has different rules and things that they set.
Right.
And that was the whole drama around David Harbour and Lily Allen.
Oh.
Remember, is that he reportedly went around it, but.
They were open?
Yeah.
Got it.
So.
Huh.
I mean, what the fuck? I don't know.
Who knows?
Not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
I just play one on TV, babe. God. Well, I have a freaky listener email. You want to hear it?
Ooh, always. Let's get freaky.
Let's get freaky and scared. Hi, guys. I would apologize for the length of the email, but we know damn well we never do. I've had a couple of moments on Cult Leader via hotline and Instagram.
Ooh.
But I have a ton of stories. Should anyone want more, like the time I had an ex almost break into my house with a knife after school, or my first ghostly encounter with a 1920s flapper in a window of a San Francisco house on a ghost tour. Thank you for keeping my morning commutes full of laughter and morbid marvels. You have yet to have me not have my jaw on my car floor whenever I'm listening to both Obituary and Cult Leader. I am re-listening to Cult Leader from the start and came across the Robert the Doll episode, which I do have to say is terrifying, and wanted to share my own little leader about his wrath. I was watching a YouTube video on him being at the Zach Baggins Museum in Vegas. Spencer, is that the museum you've said like you will never go to?
Never go to it. And also, we brought up the Robert the Doll recently. Remember I had during the ice storm here when I was staying at the hotel, I got a National Enquirer and it talked about how Ozzy Osbourne last touched Robert or saw Robert the Doll or whatever and then had bad health afterwards.
Scary. God. Do you believe it?
I'm not looking at it.
Okay. All right.
I would never go see it.
All right. I was watching a YouTube video on him being at the Zach Baggins Museum in Vegas and wasn't aware that you can't look at him / take his picture without his permission till after I watched and saw his face. I didn't think much of it as I'm not a skeptic, but I have my beliefs in the demonic possessions and demons side of things and not necessarily the bad luck of items side of things. This obviously has now changed. As soon as I had gotten done with that video, I instantly got an eerie feeling of being watched and just had an ick. I was sitting at my desk and below my desk is my PC tower. On my desk, nowhere near the edge, sat my morning matcha. I shook off the feeling and went to the bathroom, and when I came back, my then white computer had turned green. The matcha cup was broken, shattered next to my PC on the ground, empty, and it looked as if someone had picked up the glass, poured the drink inside my computer, it's all open for airflow, and smashed the glass on the ground. I was home alone, and like I said, there's no way it was by the edge and could have fallen. On top of that, I had gotten a call that my grandma had taken a fall and split her knee open and needed surgery. I was so freaked out, I immediately apologized to the doll and even sent out a letter doing the same to the doll to be safe. So be safe out there and respect haunted shit. On a lighter note, my sister sent me this and it made me think about the post-death card you talked about before. It had me dying and thought you guys would get a kick out of it. Much love to you guys and the partners and pups and Lizard, of course. Your loyal cult Geoff, Emily.
Hey, Emily, thank you.
Emily, thank you. That picture is what's the thing for a Ouija board? We've talked about it before.
The planchette.
Yes.
Yes.
on the obituary
I have a
card.
Good episode of Cult Leader on the Ouija board.
Remember we went to the museum?
Yes. I think I did it after that.
Okay. Love it.
In Salem we went. I would love if we could find time this fall for you to come out here and then maybe we go do a little Salem trip or something.
Yes, I would really, 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 and I've been thinking about it. We have to go to New Orleans. I don't know why we have not been.
Literally was talking to Carolyn today, my friend in New Orleans. We do. And actually, I really want to because the champ and I restarted Coven the other night.
Oh,
American Horror Story. Yeah, because we want to watch the new one, obviously, when it comes out.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was so much I had forgotten about because I didn't even realize that was like so long ago. That was like 2014.
Shit. Longer than a decade?
Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy.
Oh, we got to.
We got to. Well, you know what we got to do next because you're up first this week, Madison, which means that I have a little itty bitty side bitch for us.
Let's hear it, this little bitty thing.
This is from the San Francisco Call Bulletin from February 24th of 1928. And I just thought it was strange. It says, girl in mystery death. Miss Dorothy Rourke, 20, 1229 O'Farrell Street, died today in the Central Emergency Hospital of mysterious causes. Police are investigating the possibility that the girl was poisoned. And there is nothing else out there about this woman. I was going through the archives, no mention of it whatsoever. I have no idea if an investigation took place, but rarely do I see an obituary with an accusation in it like that without any sort of follow-up whatsoever. So I just thought it was kind of strange. Mysterious causes. And she was only 20 years old.
What year?
1929 or 1928.
Oh, okay. Okay. So maybe a little cold case.
Big year for poisoning.
Really?
Yeah, it was. They did say that she was on a cruise ship prior to this.
No way.
And there was a deer mouse steering the ship. Yes.
No. Oh, I hope that this ages well. I hope that we're not.
I didn't even realize the one under it says San Quentin, which is the prison up there, you know?
I'm going to be talking about San Quentin today.
It says Augustine Pina, 22, San Quentin prisoner who was stabbed yesterday in a brawl with Arturo Fuentes, 19, another convict, died today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was on there.
Sad.
Interesting. I would love to do an episode on Alcatraz.
Yeah. Have you been?
Yes.
Yes.
Multiple times. Yes.
Because that's your hometown is Alcatraz.
I'm from Alcatraz. Yes. I swam here.
I look like I just escaped.
We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, Madison's going to tell us what had her spinning in her coffin this week.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Madison, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
All right, Geoffs. What had me spinning this week was actually kind of something we've talked about, but not exactly. Something new, I promise. Back 200 episodes ago, Spencer gave us the whole rundown on reanimation. So trying to bring people back.
Galvanic reanimation.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Trying to bring people back from the dead. I believe we primarily focused, though, on the 1800s because that's when it was really popping off.
Yes.
And people were straight up using electricity and just shocking people in public and the whole thing. It's a great episode. But I don't believe we've really gotten into reanimation in the 20th century. So I want to talk today about a man named Robert E. Cornish. He was a brilliant young man who was obsessed with defeating death, basically. He conducted some crazy reanimation experiments, and he claimed that a few of them worked. And we have newspaper articles that show us that it worked, which is freaky.
Okay.
Robert E. Cornish, he was born in 1903 in California, I believe Northern California. When I said that he was a genius, I meant it. He was called a child prodigy, and he entered college at a very young age. He graduated from Berkeley at age 18.
Same.
Exactly. I know. That's another reason I picked
Weird.
this. I know.
Weird parallels.
He also got his doctorate in his early 20s and was just head in the books, just very, very smart. I personally don't like him.
Oh.
Do not like him, but I can't discount that he was academically gifted. I also read that he never had a sweetheart and he didn't socialize with anybody his age. He was like I said, just head in the books, I think, and just into academics and super into biology and life sciences and just wanted to bring people back from the dead, basically.
Okay.
He also seemed to kind of be a little inventor. Everything I read, every article mentions that he created these lenses where you could read things submerged underwater. I'm like, okay, well,
thank God.
Goggles, but yeah. Thank God for that. But anywho, by the 1930s, he started to really, really hone in on death and bringing people back from death. It is important to note, though, that in the 1920s and 30s, science I don't know. It feels like they just had a fucking hell of a time with science in this era. Like, we had commercial radio stations finally being like broadcast to people, commercial airplanes, and electricity was finally like widespread in homes, which I didn't know. I was like Googling, like, when did electricity start? Like, when was it invented? And it was like the 1800s, but it like took a long time to finally, even in like rural places, have electricity fully. So I don't know. I think people thought like science and engineering, like we can do anything. So Robert builds this seesaw. It's also known as a teeter board, which is like a normal name. It's like not a name he invented, but
like teeter-totter.
Yeah. But basically, this thing, you would strap a body down, you would rock the body from head to toe, and there's pictures of it I'll post, but it kind of reminds me of like an inversion table, you know?
Yeah.
But the thought was that gravity would get the blood moving with a dead person. And then if you injected adrenaline and anticoagulants and God knows what else, and administer manual respiration, you could bring somebody back from the dead. Now, also something to note, CPR, which is another callback to another episode. We have a full episode on the history of CPR, which was wild because of all the sometimes like really fucked up ways and methods people were doing CPR. Like, it wasn't until the 1950s when we really had more of like a modern way of doing CPR. So anything you read about him, he talks about manual respiration, basically CPR. Anyway, this was supposed to bring people back from the dead. The seesaw method that he was doing, okay?
Okay.
It's not greatly documented, but allegedly he started experimenting on corpses that were dead for several hours and tried to restore their circulation, but failed. So then he moved on to dogs. And this is where I really don't fucking like him, but it is fascinating and it's important to talk about. So the dogs behind me are like, bitch. So in 1934, he acquires fox terriers, and I believe he acquired 5 of them. Every single one of them he named Lazarus, which, another callback, we've done
Lazarus
multiple
effect.
Yeah, we've done multiple episodes on the Lazarus effect, and Lazarus is biblical. It's based on Lazarus who rose from the dead. That's how the effect got the name. But anyway, Robert Cornish would euthanize these dogs. He would use a combination of ether and nitrogen gas. Once the dogs stopped breathing and their heartbeats stopped, he would begin the reanimation process. He would use the teeter board, strap the dog to the teeter board, rock it pretty vigorously back and forth to get the blood flowing, inject it with chemicals, and manually force air into the lungs. Now, it gets confusing because they're all named Lazarus. It's like Lazarus 1, Lazarus 2, Lazarus 3.
Yeah.
So like reading about it, you get confused. But I guess 2 of the dogs were revived, but only briefly and died within hours. And then there's some that allegedly survived for 8 hours. I don't know. This was all happening, though, in a lab on the University of Berkeley campus, by the way, which also feels so weird.
Yeah.
So some of those stories are fuzzy, but we do have some really well-documented cases of him reviving dogs. So there was a dog that he nicknamed 13, but I believe it was actually Lazarus number 4. And I'll tell you why he called him 13 in a second. But 13 was a dog who he successfully reanimated. He called the dog 13 because he was reanimated on April 13th, 1934. And it was documented in the newspaper I have just a little snippet from the Reno Gazette Journal, Thursday, May 3rd, 1934. The headline says, "Baby Buggy for Dead Dog," and dead is in quotes. Berkeley, California, May 3rd, in the 20th day of its scientifically restored life, Dr. Robert E. Cornish's dog almost sat up here today. The animal, which had milk-soaked biscuits added to its liver diet, attempted to rise on its front legs, Dr. Cornish said. 13, as Dr. Cornish calls the dog, because it was revived April 13th after being clinically dead for 4 minutes, appears to want to walk. The young scientist said he planned to rig a creeper, which is like a baby buggy, along the lines of those used by babies to aid 13 in getting back on his feet. Then I found another article from emsmuseum.org that had a newspaper article about the second dog that he restored. It says, second dog is restored to life. Robert E. Cornish, California biologist who amazed the scientific world last spring by reviving a dog clinically put to death, recently repeated the success of his original experiment with even more encouraging results. Lazarus 5, subject of the first successful experiment, has learned to crawl, bark, sit up on its haunches, and consume nearly a pound of meat a day. The dog is blind and cannot stand alone, but results encourage Dr. Cornish to launch a new series of experiments. And then it goes on just to talk about him, but he has pictures of both the dogs of 13, which is Lazarus 4, and then Lazarus 5, and they're alive.
Oh, wow.
But what I don't think he realized or had the knowledge of or scientifically is I think he was almost killing these dogs and then just reviving them. I don't think they were actually
dead. Oh.
Right. Even though it was he said that the heart stopped beating and everything was done, I don't think we had the capability to even tell.
Huh.
If so, you know what I mean? We didn't have a brain death definition. We didn't have any of that. I think he was just torturing these poor animals.
Oh, God.
So, I understand. I would love it if we could keep our animals alive forever. But I think that he just brought them really close to death and then are reviving them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So thankfully, he moved back to humans after this. I guess Berkeley was you need to get off our campus. You need to stop doing these experiments here. So he goes back to humans. But despite how crazy we may think it is and how fucked up it is, the humans at the time loved it, were so fascinated by it. Newspapers were eating all these stories up and just feeding his ego, I'm sure. So he turns back to humans and people start sending him letters all day long, volunteering to be reanimated.
What was it? We touched on this in another coffin spinner or something or story where this happened. They brought someone to a facility where they were willingly being reanimated. What was that?
I have no
It could have been in that story, but yeah, there was I feel like it wasn't in the galvanic reanimation one, but it's a far ago story.
Okay, we'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have there's a newspaper article that's really cool. I'm not going to read the whole thing at all, but it's from the Daily Non-Peril from 1937, and there's a really cool graphic on it. I'm sure we'll post a picture of it, but it says, "Will science defeat death?" But they included some snippets of the letters that Dr. Cornish would get, and they're really fucked up. They had a psychologist go through it. These people are in bad mental health.
Well, yeah.
One of them, yeah. One of them says, "Dear Sir, I offer my life to further your experiments if you will provide for my family until they're old enough to make their own way. If experiment is successful, you will secure for me employment at $100 a month for 10 years. If not, you will pay my family that amount for 10 years, less $25 a month for each child when they reach the age of 21 or are self-supporting." So people are writing in pick me, but then there's also there's some sad letters too. This article said a tuberculosis patient from Virginia writes that he is going to commit suicide anyway, so Dr. Cornish may as well experiment on him. So
sad.
I know, very sad. However, these volunteers were not people that Robert was interested in. He was interested in inmates, and he was interested in doing it legally. He was interested in getting, the states and prisons and the government, to give him the go-ahead. He asked them always, and he was constantly denied by these places. Like, no, we're not going to let you fucking do that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because there's a couple things. So I guess he had some certain stipulations. Like if someone was gassed, like in a gas chamber, they typically will sit for longer than he would want. Like he would want to get to them right away. But in the gas chamber, like they just sat too long for his experiments. And then also, I think a lot of people were scared that it would work because the debate about double jeopardy started being talked about, which you can't be prosecuted for the same crime twice. So if, an inmate was put to death and then he somehow brought them back to life, they can't be prosecuted again.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember having this discussion too when we talked about that one inmate who was executed, but the execution didn't work. And they were like, well, you already did it, Yes, I know. And how did that end? They just did it again, right? Like yeah.
God.
Double whammy.
Double whammy. Okay, so then in 1947, an inmate from San Quentin steps forward publicly saying that he would like to volunteer. And this is different from the other volunteers because the other volunteers were always anonymous. But this guy was an inmate on death row and his case was well known. So that brought about a ton of publicity. So the inmate that approached was named Thomas H. McMonigal. And 2 years prior, in 1945, a 14-year-old girl named Thora Afton Chamberlain was last seen outside of her high school in California. She was approached by a man in a car who was looking for a babysitter. She got in the car and was never seen again. And then I guess like witness accounts said he was wearing a uniform and I don't know, all signs led back to Thomas. He fled to Illinois after, once he was identified, and he even tried to take his own life. And then finally in custody, he kind of started to confess, but he did say multiple different things. He said he shot her. He said he strangled her. He said, no, it was an accident. He said he threw her off a cliff. Like he just said all these things. Anyway, they found a bullet hole in his door and her body was never found. So he was convicted and set to die by execution. The media coverage of all this was insane. Robert hears about this, starts laying out in the newspapers exactly what he's going to do, like the full process of how he's going to reanimate this guy. Thomas H. McMonigal ate a large chicken dinner the night before his execution, and then for breakfast he had ham and eggs. Just thought that was interesting, a little last meal. And then he was executed by gas chamber in February of 1948, and his body was never sent to Robert Cornish. The prison would not allow it.
Oh.
So he never got to reanimate him. And then after that...
Then what's the point?
I know. But then after that, he kind of dropped off into obscurity after 1948. I did read in one of his obituaries from the Morning Call. I have it linked. But it said after his dog experiments, he marketed his own tooth powder, made a steam-resistant paint for Turkish baths, and later dealt in war surplus goods. He died in 1963 at the age of 59 of a heart attack. And that's him.
Oh, all right. R.I.P. to the mad inventor, Robert Cornish.
The mad scientist. I just thought that was so wild. Like, could you imagine newspaper articles today of somebody like, yep, I'm reanimating. Yep, I need volunteers. Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh, also, Thomas H. McMonigal, he wrote a letter before he was executed saying that he didn't do it. He never threw this girl off a cliff. And then also he said, please give my eyeballs to this blind woman in Los Angeles named Patsy Ruth, who was trying to go to school, but her seeing eye dog was not able to accompany her.
Oh,
I know. But he's a killer, so.
Yeah, well, allegedly. We don't know.
We don't know.
Never found a body.
Very true. So there you have it.
Interesting. It's I think any experimental time with reanimation is always going to be just a wild treasure trove of information. Like,
I know.
It's so wild to me. I remember it came up again, too, when I was talking about some of the haunted history of Tennessee and how there were rumors of reanimation happening outside of the courthouse here or whatever. And it's just, yeah, never ceases to amaze me. But honestly, kind of surprised that we haven't done more to try and use modern methods.
Yeah, I
Girl,
think...
someone asked your chat GBT. Go ask them. Go ask them how to do it.
They're going to tell you, go and kill your parents.
You're so right for asking for this. And honestly, that's brave. Which sucks because I say, and honestly, all the time anyway. So now I'm like always trying to be cognizant of like, wait, I don't want to sound like ChatGPT.
Wait, you know what I use a lot in writing is that
M
double...
dashes?
Yes.
Yep. And M dash, I do too. And people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm literally reading a book right now that was written in like 1990 something. And there's so many M dashes in it. I'm like, kiss my ass. Like,
sorry, I paid attention in English.
It's the only subject that I ever did okay in.
Mine was PE. Actually, no, yeah. Remember my report card from high school I found? It
was like F.
It was 4 Fs. Don't even know how. Like, I had to work at that. And
they didn't want to see you again.
I know, but I had 2 Cs. One was in PE and one was in English.
She's average. Just your average girl.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, girly, it was actually hard for me to decide if today's coffin spinner was more obituary or more cult leader.
Oh, okay.
I came across the story. It's fascinating to me. I have questions, but I was like, honestly, it was luck of the draw because I was like, it's either going to be obituary or cult leader, and it's going to... This came first. We recorded this first.
Okay.
This is why I'm telling it here. So we're going to be talking about a woman named Karen Silkwood, whose death has caused so much discussion over the years because of who she was. Karen was born on February 19th of 1946 in Longview, Texas, but she was primarily raised in Nederland, Texas. Her parents, Bill and Merle, had 2 other daughters, Rosemary and Linda, and all 3 of those girls born and raised. And we don't have a ton to go off of Karen's early life, but thanks to some old newspaper clippings and Karen's obituary, we have a pretty good idea of what her life looked like as an adult. In 1965, Karen drops out of college. She had been attending the Lamar State College of Technology in Beaumont, Texas, and then she gets married to this oil pipeline worker named William Meadows. Together, they had 3 children, a son, Mike, and then 2 daughters named Christy and Dawn. Well, a little while into their marriage, they ended up divorcing. It was the husband's fault. He was a cheater. He was an excessive spender. And so in 1972, Karen leaves him and takes the children, and she ends up in Oklahoma City, where she works briefly as a hospital clerk, but then she's able to secure a job as a lab technician at Kerr-McGee. And Kerr-McGee Laboratory was founded in the 1920s, and it was an American energy company where they mined uranium as well as other energy resources. Her obituary didn't mention a husband, but I do believe at the time of her death, she had a boyfriend named Drew Stevens, and we're actually going to come back to him a little bit later on. But we have talked plenty about chemicals back in the day and the way that they were handled. Girly, you did a whole episode on the uranium girls. We talked about Fossey Jaw. Pretty much all of these factory and laboratory jobs that were putting people in immense danger.
Yeah.
And their bodies were essentially destroyed by working in close proximity to things like uranium. And unfortunately, that's the situation at hand when it comes to Karen Silkwood. In the 1970s, she is allegedly contaminated with plutonium. And plutonium and uranium are not the same thing, but they're both radioactive and very toxic to our bodies. And they do similar breakdowns, I think, once they reach our cells. But on November 5th of 1974, Karen discovers that she has been exposed to the plutonium. They have a device at the factory called an alpha detector, and it will basically like give you a notification if there's been any sort of exposure to radioactive materials.
Okay.
And there was one on her glove box, and at first I thought glove box in car, but I think they have like actual glove boxes at work for their gloves because they're working with these chemicals. The device goes off, but it was weird because I guess there was no plutonium found on part of the gloves that she was wearing, but it was found on her hands. And there was also nothing in the air, supposedly, that indicated anyone would have been exposed to the plutonium, because they have all sorts of sensors, which reminds me, quick side note, I just saw there's a picture going around of a little parakeet in a coffin. It's a little glass opening that shows his face. And I believe it was one of the, remember when I talked about the coal mines and the parakeet alarms? Or the canaries, yes. Oh my God. Excuse me.
Get your birds right.
Fuck, I know. Sorry. Still so cute.
Oh.
But anyway, nothing indicated that she'd been exposed other than herself.
Okay.
So she goes to the higher ups at the company and she talks to them about it. She's like, it's indicating that I was exposed. So over the course of the work week, the company takes urine and fecal samples from Karen so that they can see if there was any sign of contamination. Which I was thinking about, and I was like, I would imagine having to do that at your workplace. I'm like, girl, I don't want to.
That was the first. That was literally the first thought in my head was, oh man, I'd never want to give him my poop.
I'd quit.
I'd
be like, okay, yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Never coming back.
I know. Well, that's like when I worked at Laser Away, I would get full, I'd get everything lasered, and then I would be like trying to deliver, a message or whatever. And I'm like, cool, you just saw my butthole, and now I have to like pretend like this is normal. Like what?
Fully. Anyway, they do this testing and they find, and I quote, significant levels of exposure.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, about a week goes by. And by November 12th, the air that is coming out of her lungs is considered contaminated. Oh. So she is like fully infected with exposure to the plutonium. A health physics team actually goes to Karen's house, and at Karen's house, they find traces of plutonium in the bathroom as well as the refrigerator, which are two things you can imagine are probably, for me, those are the first two things touched when I get home. Yeah. Girl, it's one of those two.
I have to pee and I need a snack.
Yes, girl. Gotta drain the pickle, then I gotta grab some pickles. Yeah. Anyway, obviously terrifying. She has a roommate, she has children, she has a boyfriend. Like it's a scary situation. I should note that I didn't read anything about them testing the children, but apparently they did test both her boyfriend as well as the roommate that they had, which is a female roommate. And I don't believe either of them had any sort of plutonium related exposure on them.
Okay.
But then it made me question, I'm like, okay, were the kids actually with her in Oklahoma City? I don't know. I just always assume the kids go with the mom.
Yeah, but that's not always the case. But I'm also feeling like, is there some twist in this, Karen? Okay.
So the company thinks so. They're like, we don't want a fucking lawsuit. So they allegedly, I believe, accused Karen of taking plutonium home to contaminate herself.
What does plutonium look like? I just need to know. Like, I picture like a little blue, like steamy.
No, remember when we've talked about like uranium rods or whatever? Those are always a certain color. These are more like it's like a metal. And so, like, once you put heat to it, it's kind of got, like, a lava-like look to it.
Got it. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. And its element thing is PU.
Yeah.
Okay.
PU. Okay. So they're saying, oh, no, she took this home to contaminate herself. This didn't happen at work. And In my head, I'm like, why would anyone do that, right? A slip and fall is right there. I cannot imagine somebody who understood the magnitude of radiation poisoning would willingly subject themselves to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
Okay.
Karen reportedly was like, no, I got exposed here at work. We've done all these things. Like, I've shown you, I've been pointing out, other people have pointed out that we do not take our safety protocols seriously enough.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
seriously enough. And so she actually becomes elected to the bargaining committee for the union at the laboratory.
Oh, I bet the union is all over it. I bet they're like, oh, hell, we're electing you because this place. Girl. Yeah, okay.
With them, she actually testifies in front of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission about the unsafe working conditions at the plant. Oh, and shit. I did read in one source that she had been working with the union since she was hired in 1972 and was part of a big strike against the working conditions at the laboratories. Mm-hmm. And so in my head, it makes sense that like she was always part of the union. She's always part of the team that's like ready to call out a company's shortcomings. Mm-hmm. And so in my head, that makes sense why they might come up with the theory like, well, you did this to prove a point or whatever, because you're just wanting like the union to have their win or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, she's causing, I guess, an uproar, you could say, because she's like, I was exposed. All this shit. I mean, this is real stuff happening to her body, right? Like she has been exposed.
There's physical things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on November 13th of 1974, 28-year-old Karen Silkwood, she goes to a meeting around 5:30 p.m. and it's a union meeting to discuss everything that's going on. And at that meeting, Karen even had a bit of a breakdown to a coworker, crying about how scared she was about what was happening to her body. She was scared that she was going to get some sort of cancer from it. Like, she's freaked out. And to me, that's, again, not the woman who is allegedly taking plutonium home and poisoning herself with it.
Right.
Around 7:10 p.m., she leaves that meeting. She gets into her Honda Civic and she heads to meet with a reporter from the New York Times. And with her, she has this big manila envelope full of information in regards to Kerr-McGee, the laboratory, and information about her exposure, other dockets from the union that she was going to share with this reporter.
Okay.
Hence, she becomes a bit of a whistleblower.
Right.
30 minutes into that drive to go meet that reporter from the New York Times, Karen crashes her car and dies.
Oh my God. Why does this feel so on par with what's happening? Like the scientists and shit?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Inside of her vehicle, the highway patrolman pulls up and they find some Quaaludes as well as 2 joints. However, they do not find the manila envelope that her coworkers had seen her leaving with.
No.
The highway patrolman declares that she must have fallen asleep while driving. That's his official statement that he gives. He's like, it is what it is. Here it is. There's drugs in the car. She probably passed out, fell asleep while driving, and crashed. During her autopsy, however, the coroner found 0.35 milligrams of methaqualone in her blood. And he says, quote, a therapeutic dose is 0.25 milligrams and a toxic dose would be 0.50 milligrams.
What is
she
that?
She had 0.35. Methaqualone, I believe, is the Quaalude.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I believe. We'll fact check this. We'll put a little fact check box if I'm wrong. Now, the union, I believe, hires a crash investigator to help aid in the investigation because they're like, this is so bizarre, right? She's on her way to be the whistleblower and she fucking dies in a car accident and the envelope is gone.
It's not bizarre at all. It's fully set up. Sounds like.
So that investigator finds a different story. The steering wheel, the sides of it were bent inward, which indicated to them that most likely Karen was pulling back, like hanging on tight to maintain control of her vehicle.
Okay.
And that investigator's like, she was not asleep when this happened. It's then discovered that there's damage to the back end of Karen's car, which everybody around her was like, there was no damage on the back of that car, indicating that Karen may have been pushed by another car off the road.
Oh.
And that's what led to her accident.
Oh my God.
And they did all this like forensic testing. They're able to see that like there's paint chips where the damage is on the back of her car, which indicated that another car very well could have pushed her car off the road. And so Karen's family, after she dies, they sue the laboratory. Her dad, I believe, sues Kerr McGee for gross negligence. And this made headlines because everybody is questioning what's going on here. The company was reportedly alleging that Karen had taken the plutonium on purpose. She's claiming that she was poisoned there. She's about to expose this whole thing, and then she tragically dies in a one vehicle accident, right? That's what they kept referring it to as like a one vehicle accident, meaning that she didn't collide with anyone and just crashed there on her own.
Right.
Well, in the months leading up to the trial, two men who were supposedly involved in all of this suddenly packed up and left the country and fled to West Germany, fully moved there.
Yeah.
And therefore they couldn't be subpoenaed. They couldn't be put on the stand. And perhaps most damning to me, somebody attempted to assassinate the chief investigator for the legal team who represented Karen's family. So this, in my head, my conspiracy brain, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%. There is not a doubt in my mind that allegedly they wanted to make this situation go away.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want a trial. They don't want the hubbub that's going to come with it. They don't want the negative press towards the company.
Right.
And so a very long and convoluted trial ended in a jury win for Karen's family. They were awarded $505,000 in damages and $10 million in punitive damages.
Damn.
But after an appeal, the family was only offered $5,000. And in 1986, Kerr McGee settled out of court with the family to end the legal battle for once and for all. And they gave them $1.38 million. So $1,380,000. But part of that settlement was them saying, we're giving you this. However, we're not admitting to any sort of liability for Karen's death.
Right.
But the family, obviously, they're like, you know, do we take the $5,000 and keep going with this and spending money on legal fees to go against this company that it's an energy company? I mean, they probably have millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
So I think they took what they could get. And then Karen's funeral took place, I believe, in her hometown in Netherlands. And interestingly enough, her boyfriend at the time of her death also died tragically. This was a few years later in 1994. He died in a plane crash. And I found his obituary. It said, quote, Drew Stevens, Silkwood's boyfriend. El Reno, Oklahoma, Drew Stevens, the former boyfriend of Karen Silkwood, died in a plane crash. He was 45. Stevens, an Oklahoma City business owner, was killed while practicing aerobatic loops in preparation for an upcoming aerobatic competition. Stevens was portrayed by Kurt Russell in a movie about Silkwood's wife, where they have a movie about this that I want to watch. Meryl Streep, I believe, plays Karen Silkwood.
No way.
And then Kurt Russell plays her boyfriend. Silkwood died in November of 1974 in a traffic accident on the way to meet a union official and a reporter from the New York Times to discuss alleged safety violations at the Kerr McGee Cimarron plutonium plant near Crescent.
Wow. Damn.
And so that's kind of why I was like, I don't know if this is cult leader or obituary. I was like so in between here.
I get why you said that, because it is true crime, but it is also plutonium and so science-y. Like I don't know, but I loved that. Now, obviously, the story is tragic, but I would love for you to bring a little cult leader on here from time to time. I love it.
Every once in a while.
Crazy. So fucking crazy. I know this is a side note, but kind of, since we're talking about cult leader, did you see that Alex Murdaugh might get a retrial for the murder? I know he'll be in... Yeah, there was jury tampering because of like a clerk. And I think they might give him a retrial for the murder. He's already in jail for life for financial.
Yeah.
But
Oh, shit. No, I've been so on an old kick, which you have too, with like the old Datelines and everything.
Yeah.
And I actually last night went and rewatched the one that you were just talking about.
With
You need
Lloyd
to come on Cult Leader. We should tell that story on there.
Oh, I would love to. Lloyd and
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, hello, this is Obituary. And one thing that absolutely belongs on this show is an obituary. Madison, who do you have this week?
Okay. Funny enough, I have kind of a conspiracy obituary also.
Love.
And you've probably talked about her on Cult Leader in reference to certain things. I'm not sure though. So I found this on Legacy. Dorothy Kilgallen, July 13th, 1913 to November 8th, 1965. In memory of the life, death, and legacy, Dorothy Kilgallen was a beloved mother and talented writer who died too soon. As we mark the 50th anniversary of her passing, there are still many fans and friends who miss her and still wonder about her death. On November 9th, 2014, an independent investigation started out of the San Diego area in an attempt to find out the truth on how she died. Anyone with any information related to the death of Dorothy Kilgallen should contact missingpersonsofamerica.com. And then it shows the guest book. So I found like her actual obituary because I was like, who is this girl? This could honestly also be a gossip bridal if we ever did like a full deep dive of a person. Because she was a gossip girl. She was here's her from the Rockford Register Star. Columnist, victim of heart attack. New York. Newspaper gossip columnist Dorothy Kilgallen, 52, died in bed while reading early today. Her father, veteran news reporter James L. Kilgallen, said she apparently suffered a heart attack. Miss Kilgallen's husband, actor and nightclub operator Richard Coleman, and their youngest child, Carrie, were sleeping in other rooms when she died. Her body was found this morning by a maid when she reported to work in the Kilgallen townhouse on Manhattan's East 68th Street. So the whole thing with her is that she scored a one-on-one interview with Jack Ruby, who killed JFK. And it's mysterious, and there's conspiracy theories that claim that she uncovered information suggesting that Jack Ruby may have not acted alone and that powerful people connected to organized crime and like intelligence agencies and stuff. Like she was getting ready to expose this, basically. She was going to drop her interview.
A whistleblower.
A whistleblower, exactly. I know.
Damn.
So people don't believe that she just mysteriously died of like a whatever. So I know. We could do a full deep dive on her.
Yeah, I would love to.
I know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, I have the obituary for Dawn Lisa Anderson. Oh my God, it got me.
Okay.
I know. Okay. It says, a life of selfless kindness. Dawn Lisa Anderson passed away on February 2nd, 2026 at the young age of 57. I was next to her when she passed. This was written by her husband. She passed doing something for me, painting a mini for one of my games, something she loved to do. But that was Dawn, and anyone who knew her knew that. Her greatest joys in life came from doing everything for others, especially for me. She was born on September 2nd, 1968, the daughter of Vernon W. Rush and Georgiana Rush in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Dawn was a loving mother and best friend to her daughter, Paige Blake, and a compassionate and giving stepmother to my two sons, Kyle and Corey Anderson. She was the sister of Eugene Rush. 25 wonderful, short years ago, on August 4th, we were married and became a family of 5. But we were a family before that. Even before our wedding, Dawn taught us all the importance of vacations. She insisted that we all go away together every year. She told me soon after we decided to make one family together, vacations are important. It's what the kids will remember. That was the way she thought. Dawn was a respected member of the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office in Toms River, New Jersey, where her incredible work ethic, attention to detail, and staggering intelligence elevated her to the position of chief clerk typist. She was much more than her title, though. She managed the office's multi-million-dollar budget. Even the prosecutor admitted that he needed to talk to Dawn before he knew how much he could spend. And work is where I met Dawn, the love of my life. There we were acquaintances who became friends, who became best friends, who became everything to each other. She was staggeringly beautiful, breathtakingly confident, and endlessly competent in everything she did or tried to do. Through our life together, we loved our children, family, and our friends, but more than anything else, we loved each other the most. Her every waking moment was spent thinking about and doing for others, especially me and her daughter Paige. Her love didn't end there, though, because she made crafts, sewed costumes, and painted pictures for us all, including my 2 sons, Kyle and Corey. The last few years she spent at home with her beloved dogs, Rex and Zoe, and then Mia, our new little girl. Her days were filled with artistic expression, be it painting miniature figures for me and my hobby, making holiday decorations for Paige, or designing something beautiful and personal for her upcoming granddaughter Sophie, whom she already loved completely and totally. I will miss her laugh, which filled the room. I will miss her quiet presence, but mostly I will miss her voice. Whether we were talking about the weather, music, upcoming movies, or whatever we were going to do that weekend, I liked hearing her speak, and her singing voice. I'll miss her singing voice the most. She was shy, even though she was incredibly talented, and only a select few people got the honor of hearing her sing. She sang for me all the time, and I might miss that the most. My Donnie left us all way too soon. I don't know why this gets me. She was and always will be my life and my love. Every person she touched knew her kindness and selflessness. Words cannot express how much she will be missed by everyone she touched. I love you, my Donnie, my baby doll. I just
thought
it was so sweet. I think I'm just like, her husband loved her so much.
So much. It felt so genuine.
So genuine, and so just like, he was just so in love with her. And I'm like, God, because you hear.
I took my Lexapro this morning, so I'm.
We're not going to get anything out of her.
I'm not crying. But such a great obituary.
Yeah, just sweet. Just a good one. Like, I'd be so happy if my husband wrote that about me. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, so heartfelt, so personal. Just it's like a love letter.
Got me.
Got him.
Got me, girl.
Aww.
Just in love over here. All right, well, can't get too sweet. Can't get too soft on you all. Yeah. We're nasty trolls inside. We have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
It means it's time for some dumb
criminals.
So you got.
Okay, I saw this on TikTok, but I found the article. There is this fucking video going around. I'll show you the video, or we'll post the video. Okay, this is from the Daily Mail. It says a gas station clerk narrowly avoided being shot dead after a woman opened fire inside a West Virginia convenience store during a brazen attempted robbery. The entire terrifying encounter was captured in surveillance footage. And this woman is so fucking stupid. Her name's Rebecca Peterson, 42. It says of Oceana, she walked into a Shell station along Little Coal River Road in Lincoln County just before 4 a.m. on Friday and approached the counter with a firearm. So, okay, let me just explain this to you. She's an idiot. So she has this.
Is she the one where he is like, give me the gun?
Well, so she shoots the gun and it like narrowly misses him. They're like standing at the counter, right? But she looks like, huh? Like, what? I don't know. What? And he's like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, this is a robbery, and like shoots the gun. And then he's like, my manager's in the back office. Like, he has the money. Go get. And she's like, what? And he's like, go back there. And so she goes into the back area. Nobody's there. This is like how he gets away. And she goes up to the camera and like points the gun at the camera, like, and that's the video. It's
she got caught.
Okay, so then it gave him seconds, it says, to flee and call 911. He said, I tried to let her be calm and saw her mentality is not awake. And then it says, troopers say the suspect then exited the store and fled in a black SUV. Law enforcement tracked the vehicle down a short time later and took her into custody. but just such a
I love that she fell for it. She got fooled, bitch.
She got fooled. Yeah, we'll post the video. I'm like, she wasn't all there to begin with. You could tell whether it was drugs or whatever. But the fact that he got to, like, he tricked her. He's like, go to the back, go to the back. That's where the money is.
A fool, a dumbass.
Who do you have?
Bamboozled. I have this girl here.
Hold it. Pink hair. I feel like we've had a couple pink hairs.
Yeah. She's got a look. On Sunday afternoon, shortly after 3 p.m., Logan County Sheriff's deputies responded to Dollar General on US 68 in Bell Center after a woman was seen slouched over the wheel of a running car. The woman, Heather McGinnis, 39 of Dunkirk, appeared staggering, unable to stand properly, and was having trouble holding items. Oh, yeah. So I guess they had called her because she was like acting a fool inside of the Dollar General, and then someone saw her passed out in her car. And so they get there, they ask her to do a field sobriety test, and she's like, I'm not fucking doing that. And like you look at her and you're like, yeah, girl,
she already knows.
She's like, I know my rights. And so they believed she was under the influence of an unknown substance. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say that it was meth, mama.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's not plutonium, okay?
Girl. Yeah, she's like, it's not the plutonium. I don't know. I just left the plant. And so then they try and handcuff her, and she resists. She's pulling away. She throws herself to the ground. She's like fucking writhing around, like, get off of me. No one can take me down. Like, I'm God. Deputies were finally able to place her into handcuffs. And when they searched her, they found all kinds of shit. They found a needle with an orange cap that fell from her pants. They removed another needle from her other pant leg. They found a blue pill, which ended up being Viagra.
I was just about to say Viagra.
Yeah, girl. She was fucking going for it. And then she was taken to the Logan County Jail. And during the ride, she said, all right, I admit I have a little bag of marijuana.
Where was it?
Well, at the jail, deputies discovered 2 baggies from her person, one containing a white powder, and she said it was cocaine, 21 grams of it, which I'm like, damn, girl. I would have gone through that.
Is that a lot? Like, how much do people usually do?
Well, there's like 3 grams in a 8-ball, I believe. I've been out of the game for years, and so that's like, almost 3 8-balls. And then the other gray powder, which she said was absinthe. But then jail staff also found another plastic baggie with Xanax under her dentures. So this bitch was
not under her. That's innovative. Okay.
She's fighting. She's hiding shit every fucking pocket.
Where did they find the weed and the cocaine?
Girl, I don't even think they found weed.
I thought you said marijuana.
She said she had a little baggie of marijuana, but
got it. But where was the cocaine? In her ass?
No, I think it was in another. Well, they said they found it in her recovered 2 baggies from her person.
Okay.
So I don't know. I would assume probably like a bra tuck or like a panty.
Got it.
Maybe.
Okay.
She was booked on charges of illegal conveyance of drugs onto the grounds of a detention facility, possession of cocaine, operating a vehicle under the influence, and resisting arrest.
Woman in STEM. Okay. A hide under the dentures is something I've never heard before, and I respect it.
Yeah.
I really do.
If I was her, I would have busted that out first. I would have popped that Xanax the second the cops were there and been like, I'm freaking out.
Enjoyed the ride, okay?
Yeah. Let me relax a little bit.
I know. God.
Locked and loaded. Made me think of like, God, in Euphoria, how Rue is like, spoiler alert for the season, but like trafficking drugs.
Yeah. And then did you watch the most recent episode?
Yep.
She's like an informant.
Yeah.
How scary would that be?
Crazy.
God, I know. Oh, gosh. Well, what are you going to do?
That about wraps it up for the week.
Wraps it up. Canadian Geoffs, remember to look into that little chapel, please.
Please.
I'm sure
we got to go to Canada and get some ketchup chips in person.
There you go.
I want to get them. I want to munch
Ooh,
and crunch.
Oh, those
and
pickles?
Oh, God.
Delicious. I woke up Well, I didn't wake up because I was already up. But at like 2:30 in the morning the other night, I got out of bed and was like,
woke up.
Yeah, I was already awake. I was like, I need olives. I just had a craving for olives. And so I went to the kitchen and just.
What? Okay, green.
They were they were manzanilla or whatever. But I needed that like salt.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps it up for the week. And we'll be back next week. Don't you worry. With some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And some dumb
ass.
Good.